Hello, welcome to this session on training for presiding and other polling officers on the process of mock poll. Importance and concept of a mock poll. Polling is a very important event in the election process. In a democracy, it is through the poll that the electors express their choice of candidate to represent them. Any irregularity in the conduct of poll may vitiate the election, and therefore it should be ensured that the poll is conducted strictly in accordance with law and the prescribed procedure. If the operation of conducting the poll is planned in advance according to the election plan and necessary arrangements made, a reasonably free, fair, and peaceful poll will take place in a constituency. Before the commencement of poll, the EVM with VVPAT has to be demonstrated to the polling agents who are present at the polling station. This is done to satisfy them that no vote or any trace of it is left recorded on any of the connected units before the commencement of the actual poll process, and that the machine units and various buttons provided on them are in perfect working condition. For these purposes, a mock poll shall be compulsorily conducted by letting the polling agents record a few votes randomly for each of the contesting candidates and telling the result of the mock poll thereafter. The Commission's latest guideline stipulates that at least 50 votes will be cast in a mock poll and that at least one vote will be cast against each candidate contesting in a constituency. According to the Commission's instructions, if there is no mock poll conducted at a polling station, there shall be no poll at that polling station. The three types of interconnected units for the election process are the control unit, CU, the balloting unit or units, BUs, and the voter verifiable paper audit trail, VVPAT. After holding the mock poll, the votes recorded at this mock poll must be cleared from the control unit of the voting machine, so that no data relating to the mock poll remains in the memory of any of the machine units. The paper slips pertaining to the conduct of the mock poll must be taken out from the VVPAT drop box, so that the drop box of VVPAT is totally empty at the end of the mock poll. The control unit of the voting machine must be sealed and secured by fixing the green paper seal, the special tag, and the strip seal in the spaces provided for each of them. The drop box of the VVPAT must also be sealed with an address tag after removal of all paper slips pertaining to the mock poll before the actual poll starts. The poll must commence at the hour fixed for such commencement by the Election Commission. Few preliminary preparations for the mock poll. Before EVM and VVPAT are put into actual use at the polling station, some preparations are necessary at the polling station. These preparations must be done by the presiding officer in the presence of the contesting candidates or their agents before the commencement of the mock poll. Preliminary preparations should be started at least about an hour before the time fixed for the commencement of the actual polling, so that the preparations are over by the time fixed for commencement of the actual poll. The balloting unit or units are already duly prepared in all respects at the returning officer's level, and no further preparations of this unit is required at the polling station on the day of poll, except that its interconnecting cables have to be plugged in into the VVPAT. Ensure that the pink paper seals fixed on any of the units by the RO before they are handed over to you are not damaged in any manner at any time while the units are in your custody. Depending on the number of candidates contesting in your constituency, check that you have been provided with the requisite number of balloting units to take care of all contesting candidates of that constituency. Also check that the ballot paper on each such unit has been properly fixed and properly aligned under the ballot paper screen. While taking over the balloting units from the RO, check that the slide switch or thumb wheels switch on each balloting unit has been set to the appropriate position. Further, check that each unit has been duly sealed and is carrying the address tag both at the top portion and at the right bottom portion. Prior to handing over the various units to the presiding officer and his team, the control unit and VVPAT shall be set as per the number of contesting candidates, including nota, by the returning officer at an earlier stage while the data is being loaded for each unit. Note that the VVPAT, along with the balloting unit or units, shall be kept in the voting compartment. Connect the first balloting unit with the interconnecting cable to the connector available on the backside of the VVPAT. If multiple BUs are used, then only the first BU is directly connected to the connector provided at the backside of the VVPAT. The VVPAT should be positioned to the left side of the first balloting unit, which in turn shall be followed by additional balloting units if used. Note that wherever the number of contesting candidates exceeds 16, including nota, more than one balloting unit would need to be used, depending on the number of contesting candidates in that particular constituency. All additional balloting units to be used at the polling station are to be chain linked to each other, but only the first balloting unit will be linked to the VVPAT unit through the cable emanating from the first BU. For linking a balloting unit with another, there is a socket provided in a compartment on the back of the balloting unit. The connector of the interconnecting cable of the second balloting unit will be plugged into the socket of the first balloting unit. Likewise, the connector of the third balloting unit's interconnecting cable will be plugged into the second unit, and that of the fourth unit into the third unit, and so on. Unlock the VVPAT to initiate its operation by rotating the paper roll black knob provided at the back of the VVPAT to the working position, that is, a vertical position. The compartment on the top portion of the back of the control unit also contains the power switch. When the switch is put to on position, it makes the battery of the voting machine operational, which in turn supplies the power both to the control unit as well as to all the balloting units which are linked within this interconnected system. As mentioned earlier, the socket for plugging the interconnecting cable of the first balloting unit into the VVPAT unit is provided in a compartment on the top portion of the back of the VVPAT unit. The connector of the interconnecting cable can be disconnected from the VVPAT unit or from the other balloting unit only by pressing the spring-type clips on both sides of the connector hood and pulling the connector out. These spring-type clips, when pressed inward simultaneously, will release the hold of the connector from the socket, and the connector should then be pulled out while keeping the spring-type clips so pressed. Connecting the balloting units and the VVPAT or disconnecting them properly requires some practice to avoid any damage to the machine. Familiarize personally with connecting the balloting unit with the VVPAT and the control unit with the VVPAT. VVPAT shall be set as per the number of contesting candidates, including nota set in the control unit by the returning officer before it is handed over at the collection center. VVPAT shall be kept with the balloting unit or units in the voting compartment, and it should be so placed to the left side of the first balloting unit. Remember that the interconnecting cable emanating from the VVPAT should be connected to the control unit. It is possible that some of these units may malfunction. Replacement protocol for mock poll. All error messages for BU, CU and VVPAT will be displayed on CU only. Please read message and act accordingly. In case CU shows error replace VVPAT, switch off the CU and replace VVPAT. No mock poll is required in this case. In case the CU or BU or VVPAT does not function properly during mock poll, replace the respective unit only. Mind you, unlike in the mock poll, if during actual poll the CU or the BU does not work properly, replace entire set of CU, BU and VVPAT. This is only for the actual poll, not for the mock poll. During the mock poll, cast only one vote to each contesting candidate, including nota, after replacement of the unit or units as the case may be, and follow other instructions of mock poll. In case the VVPAT does not work properly during actual poll, replace only VVPAT. In such case, no mock poll is required. We go on to the actual start of the mock poll. At the outset, the appointment letters of the polling agents is to be checked. Mock poll is conducted 1 hour before the actual commencement of the poll. At least 50 votes will be cast during the mock poll. The VVPAT, along with the EVM, is used in the mock poll, wherein at least 50 votes are cast. Casting of votes is done using the polling agents present at the time of the mock poll. At the time of switching on the CU, note the CU time displayed and the battery level. If the polling agents are not present, wait for 20 minutes and then the presiding officer will cast the votes for each candidate in the presence of other polling officials present at the polling station. In such a case, there should be specific mention in the mock poll certificate on this aspect. In case polling agents turn up in between, the presiding officer shall not stop the ongoing mock poll or restart it afresh. Mock poll is a mandatory step before the commencement of the actual polls. And at the end of the mock poll, the presiding officer has to certify to the effect that it was carried out before the commencement of the actual poll. Non-confirmation of mock poll could be indicative of some problem on the part of the presiding officer or the EVM with VVPAT, needing immediate intervention of the returning officer. At the outset, show the polling agents that the VVPAT slips compartment is empty. After demonstrating that no votes are already recorded in the EVM, a mock poll can be started by recording votes for each contesting candidate. Even if any candidate is not represented by a polling agent, you should cast a couple of votes for such candidates. The results shown in the control unit should then be tallied with the VVPAT paper slips. Mock poll shall be conducted normally 1 hour before the scheduled hour of commencement of poll. All contesting candidates would be informed in writing by the returning officer well in advance that the mock poll would start 1 hour before the commencement of the poll, and they are earlier advised to instruct their polling agents to be present on time for the mock poll. Polling agents of at least 2 candidates should be present at the time of mock poll. For mock poll, the balloting units and VVPAT should be placed in the voting compartment, and the control unit on the table of the presiding officer, polling officer, who will operate the control unit after being properly connected. One polling officer or official should be present in the voting compartment along with the polling agents to watch operations on the balloting unit and the ballot slips printed by the VVPAT. This polling officer will manually keep a record of the votes cast, as also inform any kind of errors that might be taking place. The mock poll should be conducted with the polling agents voting at random for each of the contesting candidates. After the mock poll, presiding officer will ascertain the result in the CU, count the VVPAT paper slips in the presence of the polling agents, and confirm that the results tally for each candidate. Steps in the operation of the units during mock poll. For the mock poll, the sequence of different operations is as follows. Show that the VVPAT slips compartment is empty. Switch on the CU. Before beginning the mock poll, first press the clear button and then the total button. Display to the agents present that there are no votes polled since before. Press the ballot button on the ballot section of the control unit. On pressing the ballot button, busy lamp in the display section will glow red. Simultaneously, the ready lamp on the balloting units will also start glowing green. Ask any polling agent to press according to his choice any of the candidates' blue buttons on the balloting unit. Ensure that each of the blue unmasked buttons is pressed at least once so that each button left unmasked is tested and found functioning properly. On the candidate's button being so pressed, the ready lamp on the balloting unit will go off and the candidate's lamp near the button will start glowing red. The VVPAT print a small slip of paper that carries the symbol, name, and serial number of the candidate voted, which will be visible for 7 seconds in the VVPAT window. The paper slip will then get automatically cut and it will drop in the drop box of the VVPAT. Also, a beep sound will be heard emitting out of the CU. After a few seconds, the red light in the candidate's lamp shall light up red, busy lamp, and the beep sound will go off. This will be the indication that the vote for the candidate whose blue button has been pressed has been recorded in the control unit, and the machine is now ready to receive the next vote. Repeat this process for recording one or more votes for each of the remaining candidates. Keep a careful account of the votes so recorded in respect of each candidate. When the votes are being so recorded, press the total button on the ballot section of the control unit to verify at any time that the total votes recorded in the machine tally with the number of votes which have been polled up to that stage. Make sure that at least some votes are also polled against nota to test the button and ensure it functions properly. Note that the total button should be pressed only after the vote has been recorded for any candidate, and the busy lamp in the display section is off. At the end of the mock poll, press the close button in the results section. This must be followed by pressing the ballot button to demonstrate that no more votes can be cast after pressing the close button. Subject to the availability of time, there is no objection to permit the recording of more votes at mock poll. It is not necessary that the number of votes recorded for each candidate should be the same, but at least 50 number of votes must be cast with one vote at least for each unmasked button. Now press the button marked result in the results section to show the candidates the result of the mock poll. On the result button being pressed, the display panel will start showing the result. After the mock poll, ascertain the result in control unit. Count the VVPAT paper slips after taking them out from the VVPAT drop box in respect of each candidate in the presence of the polling agents. Confirm that the result tallies with the votes polled in respect of each candidate. Once the agents are satisfied, next press the clear button of the control unit to clear the account of votes recorded during the mock voting. On pressing the clear button, all counts in the display panel will show 0. Also, the paper slips in the VVPAT should be cleared from the drop box and the drop box be sealed. Prepare the certificate of mock poll and obtain the signatures of the polling agents present at the time of the mock poll. All mock poll data in CU and the VVPAT paper slips from the VVPAT must be removed by the presiding officer and the empty drop box verified by the polling agents. The mock poll VVPAT paper slips should be stamped on the backside with a rubber stamp having inscription mock poll slip. Thereafter, these mock poll VVPAT paper slips shall be kept in an envelope made of thick black paper and sealed with the seal of the presiding officer. The presiding officer and polling agents must put their signatures on the envelope. The number and name of the polling station, number and name of the assembly constituency, date of poll, and the words VVPAT paper slips of mock poll shall be written on the envelope. This envelope must be kept in a special plastic box for the mock poll and sealed with a pink paper slip seal placed on all around in such a manner that opening of the box will require breaking of the seal. The number and name of the polling station and the number and name of the assembly constituency along with the date of poll shall be written on the plastic box. The presiding officer and polling agents must put their signatures on the pink paper seal and keep the box along with the other documents relating to elections. As the CU, BU, and VVPAT have now been demonstrated as functioning properly, the presiding officer will sign the mock poll certificate and seal the CU. Sealing the CU. The BUs have already been sealed at the RO's level and so does not need to be sealed again. Switch off the control unit before sealing of the control unit of EVM and drop box of VVPAT with various prescribed seals before making them ready for the actual poll. Insert the green paper seals in the frames provided to seal both result buttons. Close the result compartment door with the green paper seal protruding outwards. Seal the results section compartment. Fix the special tag in a manner that will keep the close button visible. Close the results section door while ensuring that the green paper seal is protruding outside. Now seal the outer door of the results section with the address tag. Fix the outer paper strip seal with the pre-gummed portion A near the base of the green paper seal. Remove the wax paper covering A. Place the lower layer of the green paper seal. Remove the wax paper on B and paste portion B above the green paper seal in the reverse direction. After pasting portion B, the pre-gummed portion C will be on the top. Remove the wax paper over C. Press both layers of the green paper seal onto portion C. Now take the strip seal around the control unit from the left side just below the close button. Bring the other end of the strip seal from the right side of the CU to the top. Now the pre-gummed portion D of the strip seal is on top. Remove the wax paper on D and paste it on top of the green paper seal. The control unit is now ready for the actual poll. Allow the candidates or the agents to note down the serial number of the outer paper strip seal and get their signatures on them. Remember to affix the distinguishing mark on the strip seal. Also, put your signature on it as the presiding officer. Do not forget to remove the mock poll slips from the VVPAT drop box. The drop box of the VVPAT should be sealed with an address tag using presiding officer's seal before actual poll starts. The presiding officers shall ensure that the data of the mock poll is deleted from the control unit without fail before the official poll starts. This is a very critical step. Fill mock poll certificate, which is the presiding officer's report, part 1, carefully. Obtain signatures of all polling officers and polling agents on it. That's all there is to a mock poll. The more you practice with these units, the greater will be the confidence gained and the lesser will be the errors committed. Wish you all a flawless experience. Thank you.